This is Alexo ASMR, and today I would like to make a video where I'll be reading a book to you guys, and hopefully some of you will find this enjoyable and relaxing to watch and listen to. And I just wanted to try something different. Instead of making a lot of rambled videos, I'll explore different kind of videos, such as this one, which I've never done before. So let's get started. Today we will be reading Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. This book was assigned to me in freshman year for the summer, and then we were supposed to take a quiz on it when we get back to school. Back then when I read it, I really didn't quite understand all of it, and it was a little bit confusing, so I thought maybe we should read it again. And I skimmed through the book, and I found several words that are quite difficult to pronounce. So if I mispronounce anything, don't judge me too harshly. I am trying my best. I promise you that. So let's get started. This book is divided into parts. Several parts actually, and chapters as well. And the first part is called, I believe, is Part 1, The Facts, and then it leads into Chapter 1. Chapter 1, An Important Passenger on the Taurus Express. It was 5 o'clock on a winter's morning in Syria. Alongside the platform at Aleppo stood the train grandly designated in railway guides as a Taurus Express. It consisted of a kitchen and dining car, a sleeping car, and 2 local coaches. By the step leading up into the sleeping car stood a young French lieutenant, resplendent in uniform, conversing with a small man muffled up to the ears, of whom nothing was visible but a pink-tipped nose and the 2 points of an upward curled mustache. It was freezingly cold, and this job of seeing off a distinguished stranger was not one to be envied. But Lieutenant Dubosc performed his part manfully. Graceful phrases fell from his lips in polished French. Not that he knew what it was all about. There had been rumors, of course, as there always were in such cases. His general's temper had grown worse and worse. And then there had come this Belgian stranger, all the way from England. It seemed there had been a week of curious density. And then certain things had happened. A very distinguished officer had committed suicide. Another had suddenly resigned. Anxious faces had suddenly lost their anxiety. Certain military precautions were relaxed, and the general, Lieutenant Dubosc, owning particular general, had suddenly looked 10 years younger. Dubosc had overheard part of conversation between him and the stranger. "You have saved us, mon cher," said the general emotionally, his great white mustache trembling as he spoke. "You have saved the honor of the French," bling as he spoke. "You have saved the honor of the French army. You have averted much bloodshed. How can I thank you for acceding to my request, to have come so far?" To which the stranger, by name M. Hercule Poiret, had made a fitting reply, including the phrase, "But indeed, I not remember that once you saved my life? And then the general made another fitting reply to that, disclaiming any merit for their past service, and with more mention of friends, of Belgium, of glory, of honor, and of such kindred things. They had embraced each other heartily, and the conversation had ended. As to what it had all been about, Lieutenant Bosque was still in the dark, but to him had been delegated the duty of seeing off Anne Poirot by the doors expressed, and he was carrying it out with all the sail, an ardor befitting a young officer with a promising career ahead of him. "Today is Sunday," said Lieutenant Bosque. "Tomorrow, Monday evening, you will be in Stamboul." It was not the first time he had made this observation. Conversations on this platform before the departure of a train are apt to be somewhat repetitive in character. "That is so," agreed M. Poirot. "And you intend to remain there a few days, I think." "Mais oui, Stamboul. It is a city I've never visited. It would be a pity to pass through Komeka," he snapped. Now these words are not English, and I've never learned this language, so I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. He snapped his fingers descriptively. "Nothing precise. I shall remain there as a tourist for a few days." "La Sainte Sophie. It is very fine," said Lieutenant de Bosque, who had never seen it. A cold wind came whistling down the platform. Both men shivered. Lieutenant de Bosque managed to cast a surreptitious glance at his watch. 5 minutes to 5, only 5 minutes more. Fancying that the other man had noticed his glance, he hastened once more into speech. "There are few people traveling this time of year," he said, glancing up at the windows of the sleeping car above them. "That is so," agreed M. Poirot. "Let us hope you will not be snowed up in tourist. That happens. It has occurred, yes, not this year, as yet." "Let us hope then," said M. Poirot. "The weather reports from Europe, they are bad, very bad. In the Balkans there is much snow. In Germany, too, I have heard." "Ah bien," said Lieutenant de Bosque hastily, as another pause seemed to be about to occur. Tomorrow evening at 7:40 you will be in Constantinople." "Yes," said M. Poirot, and went on desperately. "Saint Sophie, I've heard it is very fine. Magnificent, I believe." Above their heads, the blinds of one of the sleeping car compartments were pushed aside, and a young woman looked out. Mary Debenham had had little sleep since she left Baghdad on the preceding Thursday, neither on the train to Kirkuk, nor on the rest house at Mosul, nor last night on the train that she slept properly. How many pages then? Now, weary of lying wakeful in the hot stuffiness of her overheated compartment, she got up and peered out. This must be Aleppo. Nothing to see, of course, just a long, poorly lighted platform with loud, furious altercations in Arabic, going on somewhere. Two men below her window were talking French. One was a French officer, the other was a little man with an enormous mustache. She smiled faintly. She had never seen anyone quite so heavily muffled up. It must be very cold outside. That was why they heated the train so terribly. She tried to force the window down lower, but it would not go. The wagon-lit conductor had come up to the two men. The train was about to depart. He said, "Monsieur had better mount." The little man removed his hat, when an egg-shaped head he had. In spite of her preoccupations, Mary Debenham smiled. A ridiculous-looking little man. The sort of little man one could never take seriously. Lieutenant de Bosque was saying his parting speech. He had thought it out beforehand and had kept it till the last minute. It was a very beautiful, polished polished speech. Not to be outdone, Anne Poirot replied in kind. "En voltur, monsieur," said the wagon-lid conductor, with an air of infinite reluctance. Anne Poirot climbed aboard the train. The conductor climbed after him. Anne Poirot waved his hand. Lieutenant Dubosc came to the salute. The train, with a terrific jerk, moved slowly forward, and Finn murmured Hercule Poirot. "Brr," said Lieutenant Dubosc, realizing to the full how cold he was. "Voila, monsieur." The conductor displayed to Poirot with a dramatic gesture the beauty of his sleeping compartment and the neat arrangement of his luggage. "The little fellas of Monsieur, I have put it here." His outstretched hand was suggestive. Hercule Poirot placed it in a folded note. "Merci, monsieur." The conductor became brisk and businesslike. "I have the tickets of Monsieur. I would also take the passport, please. Monsieur breaks his journey in Istanbul. I understand." And Poirot assented. "There are not many people traveling, I imagine," he said. "No, monsieur. I have only 2 other passengers, both English, a colonel from India and a young English lady from Baghdad. Monsieur requires anything?" Monsieur demanded a small bottle of Perrier. 5 o'clock in the morning is an awkward time to board a train. There were still 2 hours before dawn. Conscious of an inadequate night's sleep and of a delicate mission successfully accomplished, and Poirot curled up in a corner and fell asleep. Getting tired. When he awoke, it was 9:30, and he sallied forth to the restaurant car in search of hot coffee. There was only one occupant at the moment, obviously the young English lady referred to by the conductor. She was tall, slim, and dark, perhaps 28 years of age. There was a kind of cool efficiency in the way she was eating her breakfast and the way she called to the attendant to bring her more coffee, which bespoke a knowledge of the world and of traveling. She wore a dark-colored traveling dress of some thin material, eminently suitable for the heated atmosphere of the train. Hercule Poirot, having nothing better to do, amused himself by studying her without appearing to do so. She was, he judged, the kind of young woman who would take care of herself with perfect ease wherever she went. As she had poise and efficiency, he rather liked the severe regularity of her features and the delicate pallor of her skin. He liked the burnished black head with its neat waves of hair, and her eyes cool, impersonal, and grey. But she was, he decided, just a little too efficient to be what he called jolie femme. Presently, another person entered the restaurant car. This was a tall man of between 40 and 50, lean of figure, brown of skin, with hair slightly grizzled around the temples. "The colonel of India," said Poirot to himself. The newcomer gave a little bow to the girl. "Morning, Miss Debenham." "Good morning, Colonel Arbuthnot." The colonel was standing with a hand on the chair opposite her. "Any objections?" he asked. "Of course not. Sit down." "Well, you know breakfast isn't always a chatty meal." "I should hope not, but I don't bite." The colonel sat down. Boy, he called in peremptory fashion. He gave an order for eggs and coffee. His eye rested for a moment on Hercule Poirot, but they passed on indifferently. Poirot, reading the English mind correctly, knew that he had said to himself, "Only some damned foreigner." True to their nationality, the 2 English people were not chatty. They exchanged a few brief remarks, and presently the girl rose and went back to her compartment. At lunchtime, the other 2 again shared the table again. They both completely ignored the 3rd passenger. The conversation was more animated than at breakfast. Colonel Arbuthnot talked of the Punjab and occasionally asked the girl a few questions about Baghdad, where, it became clear, she had been imposed as governess. course of conversation, they discover some mutual friends, which had the immediate effect of making them more friendly and less stiff. They discuss old Tommy somebody and old Reggie someone else. The colonel inquired whether she was going straight through to England or whether she was stopping in Istanbul. No, I'm going straight on. Isn't that rather a pity? I came out this way 2 years ago and spent 3 days in Istanbul then. Oh, I see. Well, I may say I'm very glad you're going right through, because I am. He made a kind of clumsy little bow, flushing a little as he did so. He is susceptible. Our colonel thought Hercule Poirot to himself with some amusement. The train, it is as dangerous as a sea voyage. Miss Debenham said evenly that would be very nice. Her manner was slightly repressive. The colonel, Hercule Poirot noticed, accompanied her back to her compartment. Later they passed through the magnificent scenery of the Taurus. As he looked down towards the Silesian gates, standing in the corridor side by side, a sigh came suddenly from this girl. Poirot was standing near them and heard her murmur, I am going to leave this here for now. If you guys enjoy it, I will continue this series on reading the book. But next time I'll be standing instead of sitting, because